You build military AI, military drone, autonomous drone technology. You build domestic surveillance technology to surveil our friends and neighbors. And then your other pet passion is the Antichrist.
Hi everyone, JJ here. Welcome back. Well, comedian Tim Dillon was on Joe Rogan's podcast recently talking about Peter Thiel and his obsession with the Antichrist. Yes, I kid you not. If you're not up to speed with that, Peter Thiel, of course, co-founder of Palantir. My next video will be about Palantir. This will lead into that. Be published a few hours later if you're interested in that. But let's dive straight into this. I think it's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny bit. And remembering these two supported Trump, really MAGA comedians, but they're pulling back from it. They're starting to criticize the Trump administration and people involved in it. Of course, Peter Thiel is a backer of J.D. Vance. So let's see what they're talking about here, and I will react to it as we go along. I think it's funny. I hope you think it's funny too.
You know, Peter Thiel is giving a 4-part lecture on the Antichrist.
Yeah, that seems odd.
4-part. Well, here's what's really wild to me. 4 parts. It's not just one. One lecture on the Antichrist would be insane. This guy's doing a series. He's doing a 4-part lecture on the Antichrist, and nobody in his inner orbit went, Peter, how about one lecture on the Antichrist or no lectures? Not 4.
Well, I don't think he understands the optics.
He certainly does not.
Yeah.
It's odd. Yeah.
Tickets sold out.
Well, of course.
Well, it's a private lecture at a club in San Francisco about the Antichrist. What does he know about the Antichrist? Is he like...
I'm guessing a lot.
If you told me there was a movie and there was a guy who played the Antichrist, zoom in on that image of him.
Yeah.
I would say, oh, is that him? Was that the Antichrist?
That's right. And so this isn't in the clip, but as a reminder, this is what Peter Thiel said about it when a journalist was questioning him about it. And it's pretty funny here. Listen to this. Unintentionally funny.
My very specific question for you, right, is that you're an investor in AI. You're deeply invested in Palantir, in military technology, in technologies of surveillance, in technologies of warfare, and so on, right? And it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right?
Busted. So this is Peter Thiel's spiel saying that, the Antichrist, if the Antichrist was here, they would be preaching peace. And, so the opposite of that is not the Antichrist.
Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done so far, right?
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that a concern? Wouldn't that be the irony of history would be that the man publicly worrying about the Antichrist accidentally hastens his or her arrival?
Or not accidentally.
There are all these different scenarios. I obviously don't think that that's what I'm doing.
I mean, to be clear, I don't think that's what you're doing either. I'm just interested in how you get to a world willing to submit to permanent authoritarian rule.
Well, but again, there are these different gradations of this we can describe. But is this so preposterous, what I've just told you, as a broad account of the stagnation that the entire world has submitted for 50 years to peace and safetyism? This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety.
So yeah, peace and safety. So the opposite of that is not the Antichrist, where peace and safety and Palantir, his business model is based on really constant war. They do well in war, they do well in conflict, which the next video will go into. So I think this is pretty funny. It's pretty hilarious that he was caught out like that. Stumped, really, didn't know what to say. So let's get back to Tim Dillon and Joe Rogan talking about this. They talk more about it. It's a funny bit, I think. I think Tim Dillon will probably talk about this more. And as I said, they've been supporters of the regime, and Peter Thiel is a supporter of J.D. Vance. So if something happened to Trump, it would be J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel as a direct backer. And Palantir has so many contracts within the US government for surveillance and AI. It's crazy that he's talking about this when everybody thinks if there were an Antichrist, could it actually be him? Does he protest too much?
This is like me doing a 4-part lecture on Long Island racism. Just to show everybody, you know, how much I know about it and how scary it is and how we got to watch out for it. But it's totally not me or anyone I know. It's no one that's ever been in my backyard, but those others. He's just kind of, you know, leaning in, I guess.
Well, I just don't understand, like, why. What I would like. Someone saw it. Someone saw one of the lectures that he did on the Antichrist.
He has been talking about it for a while now, as in that interview. He really is obsessed with it. He's going into really becoming quite religious, connecting this AI, Silicon Valley AI thing with religion and the far right. It's fascinating to follow, I think, and I'm going to be doing that.
Was it good?
It might have been Duncan. He said it was boring.
It's of course going to be boring.
But I don't understand, like, what is he doing?
He's trying to prove he's not the Antichrist.
By talking, by ratting him out.
By doing it. He's like, if I was the I mean, that's probably how the lecture starts. He goes, now, if I was the Antichrist, I obviously wouldn't be doing this lecture. Didn't O.J. Simpson write a book called If I Did It?
Yeah, I have a copy of it.
So this is Peter Thiel's version of that. His lecture on the Antichrist is If I Did It.
I think my wife threw it out, honestly.
No.
Yes. She's
on.
known to do things like that.
I get it. As a woman, you would see it and go, he doesn't need this. It's so
So I don't find Joe Rogan very funny, but Tim Dillon is more funny, I think. But this is I think this is pretty funny, roasting Peter Thiel here, which he would absolutely hate. I think he would hate this.
strange to have this. You build military AI, military drone, autonomous drone technology to export to war zones all over the world. You build domestic surveillance technology to surveil our friends and neighbors, and then your other pet passion is the Antichrist.
If you're getting value out of this, by the way, do hit that like button to help the algorithm to spread it to more people. What he says next is funny, I think, too. It's Peter Thiel's hobby. He's chosen as his hobby, apart from AI and surveillance technology, the Antichrist.
It's odd. Wouldn't you include tennis? Wouldn't you go, and I'm big into tennis? Something else. It's odd, and I like ice fishing. I build autonomous drone technology. I build domestic surveillance technology.
And I love lake trout.
And I love lake trout. And I love big mouth bass fishing.
Yeah.
But instead, he goes, and I've also developed quite a keen interest in Satan. And I'd love to talk to everyone about it for 4 fucking things in San Francisco.
Or lectures on it.
4 things in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Seems a bit much.
They find you when you're young and promising, like J.D.
Well, that's the thing. JD's going to have to, if he wants to be the president, he's going to have to say, Peter Thiel, I'm not.
the Antichrist.
He's going to have to say, Peter Thiel is Satan, and here's why that's good. JD has to get out there and go, wouldn't you rather know who Satan is and be friends with him and have dinner with him than have it be like, who's Satan?
Right.
So he's got to get out there and say, I happen to be friends with Satan. And I want that to be
misunderstood.
I
want it to be destigmatized.
Oh, I think that's pretty good. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Do you know about Peter Thiel and his obsession, his new obsession with the Antichrist, and what Palantir is doing? A lot of people don't understand what Palantir is. Really, they want to be the operating system for the US government, involved in surveillance and definitely involved in war and the wartime machine, but also domestic surveillance. So that's going to be in the next video. Now, if you do like this video, as I said, do like it, but do subscribe. I'm going to put a subscribe link on screen and also a related link. I'm going to put a direct link to that next video about Palantir that I talked about. It'll be a few hours after this one's published, so not right away, but I'll come back and put a link straight to that. otherwise a related link. And everyone, thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.